Like I was saying, this is information that I was taught when I first joined the industry of network marketing by people who were millionaires, by people who had what I wanted. See, one thing they also taught was that if you ever want to have success, follow someone who's already had the success and duplicate. Just do exactly what they're doing and then do just a little bit more. That was it. You want to have success? Find someone who's successful in whatever it is you want to do, copy them, and then do just a little bit more. So that's exactly what I did. I became a sponge. And I wanted to, see, that's what I was doing. I'm going in and out. What about the rest of you guys? Am I clear or in and out? Testing, 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 testing. Cassandra says clear. Juan says clear. Nyla says clear. What about Shauna says clear. Curtis, small click but clear. Well, all right, majority saying clear, so I'm good to go. And I think I had my finger over the speaker. So like I was stating, I was a sponge, and I just did everything that I was told, and I soaked it in. But guess what? I have a lot of success early on. I didn't. This is another lesson I learned, and it took time, and it was me because I was young at the time. I was 21, I think, 21 years old. And, I didn't have much life experience. I only had my license 4 years earlier, drive. I only was able to vote for the first time. I think that was for Bill Clinton in 1996. Wow. I was a kid. And I didn't understand the concept of time, that things aren't going to happen overnight for you. To me now, 4 years is nothing. Back then, 4 years of college, I was like, oh, that's going to take forever. But 4 years passes now as a molder like the wind, especially when you have children, you're watching. So I didn't understand the concept of time. And I was impatient. And that also hurt me. But I never gave up. And because I didn't give, continued to master my craft, become a professional in our field. I'm at the age of 36 years old. And that has to do with attitude. As you see on the screen, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. No, attitude is a little thing that makes all the difference in the world. Attitude is everything. It is everything. If you talk to any successful person, no matter what field they are in, they will tell you one thing that separated them from their colleagues and their peers was attitude. And why? Because with attitude, we all share the same 24 hours. We all share the same days in a week, months in a year. We all breathe the same air. We walk on the same ground. I think, and I hate to quote her, but she is a multimillionaire, Beyonce. She said, the difference between me and a lot of us, the price of butter? We still have the same problems as other people do. We're still human. It might be easier for us to deal with since we don't have to worry about finances. But in some cases, they end up having more problems than everybody else. When you start to get money, understand that. Money doesn't eliminate your problems. Money is nothing but a resource and a tool to use for you to do whatever it is you want to do out there in the world. That's all it is. The more money you have, the more choices you have. but you're still human. But it was the attitude that got them to have that success that separated them from others. When you can have, and without getting political, without sharing any viewpoints, I want to share just an example. If you take because you can't turn on the news right now and avoid it. And you see all the marching that's going on all over the country in New York, and you look at the Eric Garner case, and you have a video that was taken. Everybody saw the same exact video, but not everybody came away with the same conclusion. You see how that works? That's how life is. Life happens to all of us, but not all of the way. And how you choose to react determines your path. And it's not that one way is right or wrong. It's just a path you've chosen that gets you certain results. First thing you decide is what results are you looking for? And then you must develop the attitude that will attain those results. Is the glass half full or half empty? Video, I don't know if all of you saw it, but I did a video that was talking about how to be more. You want more out of life? How do I become more? It's simple. First, understand where you are and that your cup is already full. You've reached the limit of what you can have in life where you currently are right now. The only way that you can attain more is if you become more yourself, is if you grow more yourself. You need a bigger cup. That's the only way. So you must have the attitude that's going to say, I'm going to go out there and get a bigger cup. What do I need to do? Do I need to go back to school and increase my knowledge? Do I need to get another job? Should I start a home-based business? Should I work my home-based business? Will I quit my home-based business? Will I hop around until I find something that magically solves my problems for me? It all comes down to decisions. And without the right attitude, you're not going to make the right decisions that's going to get you to where you want to be. So attitude and mindset starts off everything. So let's fast forward. Last week we did part 1 on how to be a professional. So now let's part 2. And we're going to start it off where we left off last week. Last week I gave you guys an assignment before you go to bed. Before you go to bed, I want you to know what your why is. Think about your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? I saw another leader 2 days ago that posted, their why was something about makes them cry. And I see a lot of leaders do this a lot, and that's not true. It sounds okay. It sounds good. But just because it sounds good doesn't mean it works. And it's common sense. When I think about that, yeah, man, my why, if I'm crying about it, that's strong. That's a strong. Because you think of emotions. Emotions is the most powerful thing in the universe. Emotions override facts. When the mind is right, facts don't matter. When people say that's impossible to do, but you're emotionally sound, you end up doing it anyway. Every great thing that was accomplished in human history, at one point somebody thought that it was possible to do. That the facts say you can't do it. When John F. Kennedy said we're going to the moon before this decade is out, I mean, what? We've been on this planet for how long? And we haven't even put a man really out base yet. You talking about we're going to the moon? What? When the mind is right, the facts don't matter. But crying is not enough because everybody cries. Everybody cries about something. And if that was true, that your why has to be something that will make you cry, then everybody would have what they want in life. Crying is an emotional release. It's not an emotional motivator. You understand the difference? Anger, love are emotional motivators. Anger and love will pull to do things beyond what they think is even possible. Crying is not one of them. Crying is a release. People, they go to the gym, work out. That's a release. People have sex, a release. Although sex is also a motivator. Just to digress for 1 second, you know, I like to use this training part when people tell me that, you know, they can't do something, or people said no to them and they quit. I said, you know, if everybody quit when somebody said no to them, the human race wouldn't exist. In man, even or woman's pursuit of sex, more so men, they hear the word no far, far, far more than they hear the word yes. Does that stop you from trying out there to go get some more sex? Absolutely not. Move on to the next. But you get in the business and somebody says no to you, and you want to quit and give up on your dreams because somebody said no. Why? Experiment, or this, not experiment, but this training part is so important. You've got to figure out your why that is motivating. And a lot of you don't know what that is. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. It took me a long time to figure this out. And ultimately, you know what my why was? Freedom. Whoa. What do you mean, Brandon? What do you mean freedom? That's my why. Freedom. Freedom. To do, go as I please, whenever I want. Anybody having to tell me what to do, or being on a timetable and holding me back. Unlimited resources. Because with unlimited resources comes the ability for me to do whatever I want. Because your why can change over time, especially as you age. Mine is freedom. For you have to decide, what is your why? Why did God put you on this planet? What would you do if money was no longer an object in your life? What would you do with your time? See, a lot of people think that once they get all the money they want, they're done. They're going to sit on a beach for 6 months or a year, and they're done with life. They've conquered the game of life. And no, that's when life begins. See, before that, you were just a slave. You're a slave. You're working a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week, maybe more, maybe less. Your freedom is between Friday at 5 p.m. and Monday morning to 6. The only time you can go wherever you want and the government can't track you, but they don't need to because they know exactly where you're going to be come Monday morning. And you can only go so far in 3 days and no money in the bank account. You're a slave without the chains on you. But what if you didn't have to go back to work that Monday? And even though people say, well, I can choose not to go to work, yeah, but what's the consequences? Consequences is you don't get paid. You don't get paid, you can't put food on the table, and you can't pay for your home. Those are the chains right there. You go to school all your life, and you pay for college, to graduate from college, to get a job, to pay for the loans that you used to get into college in the first place. You get a job to make money to pay on your mortgage for 30 to 40 years, so you work your entire life to pay off your mortgage, then you die. You've got to realize this up front. So after you conquer that part, now what are you going to do with your life? And there's a reason why lottery winners go broke after 10 years. Most of them, 70%. They didn't learn the skills necessary to earn that type of money, and once it was dumped on them, they definitely didn't have the skills necessary on how to keep it. And they always will say, I wish I never won the lottery. Yeah, they had a good time for those 10 years. Then the money's gone. You get basketball players, football players, hockey players, they go broke 3 years after they it's sad. And you look at them like, how in the world could you blow through $100 million? You're not even 45 years old. How is that possible? And it happens more frequently than you think. So this is where you must decide. What do you want to do out of life? What would you do if you bought every house you wanted to buy, all the toys you want, all the cars you want, all the vacations, all the shopping sprees? You're completely debt-free. A year later, you wake up on a Monday morning at 11 a.m., and you have no jobs you have to go to, and you think to yourself, there's nothing else that you want to buy because you already bought everything. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? And then when you figure out what you really want to do, how does it make you feel? This is the most important part of this exercise. How does it make you feel? And pretend like you've accomplished it. Pretend like you're a kid. You know how kids have imaginations? I've already accomplished it. What does it feel like to have accomplished this? If you're having a hard time, pretend like anytime you're driving and you hear on the news that the lotto is up to like $150, $200 million, don't tell me you don't spend at least 5 minutes thinking, man, if I won that money, this is what I'd do. This is what I'd buy. This is who I'd help. And for that fleeting moment, you have a very good feeling that comes over you. And next thing you know, you're stopping off at the 7-Eleven or the corner market to buy yourself a lotto ticket because you captured that feeling at that moment. I want you to do the same thing before you go to sleep tonight. See, here's science behind this. Once you go to sleep, your consciousness is asleep, but your subconscious is wide awake. And all it's going to do for the next 8 hours while you're asleep, act upon the last feeling you have before you go to sleep. Do you guys understand that? Have you ever studied dreams or how the brain works, how the body works? Your brain does not know what's real and what's not real. Your brain only knows what you tell it to know. You can trick your brain into believing that you are a very rich man or woman. You can trick your brain to believing when you're sick that you're actually healed. And what the brain does, it only responds to the stimulus it's given. Mom tried to teach me this when I was young. Didn't work for me. But she would say when I was sick, pray to the Lord and give thanks for healing you. Well, okay, Mom, I'll thank God when I feel better. No. You must give thanks now because it's going to happen. You have to believe it beforehand. But, Mom, that makes no sense. I'll thank God once I'm not even healed yet. Give thanks. Now, that may be a biblical thing, but it's also scientific. It's a fact. If you actually believe that you're better, we'll make it so. You know, they always say alternative medicine. It's not alternative medicine. It's the right medicine. It's natural. It's how the body's designed. Like the placebo effect. Have you ever heard of studies where people are sick or something's wrong with them, And you've got one group that is given the better, and you got another group that's given the placebo. But both groups are told that the medicine they're going to get better. You know what the results are at the end? Both groups recover equally. Whoa, 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 whoa. How can the group that was given a placebo recover in the same manner that the group that was given the real medicine recovered? Because they believed that they were taking the real medicine, and the body responded to it. That's what happened. It's the fact. So you're going to trick your brain to do this, because when you go to sleep, your brain is going to start doing things to you to make it a reality in the physical world, because that's the only reality. Not live in a reality that your brain, oh, I'm getting way, way too deep on you guys. Let me keep this simple. Just trust me and do this fact. Do this exercise. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going to feel much better when you wake up. And then do it again when you wake up. Now you're starting your day feeling fresh, feeling renewed, feeling excited, feeling like you got something to live for, move for, that's not, the same old day in, day out routine. You feel different. And you just keep it in your mind. And the more you do this, over and over, the better you're going to feel. And all of a sudden, things are going to start happening in your life that you're going to be like, wow, where'd that come from? Here's the thing, guys. It was always there. You just didn't recognize them or see them as opportunities because you were not in the right vein and your vibration was blocking it. It's all about the vibration. You have opportunities that bounce off of you all day long. But if you're not vibrating on the right level, you're not even going to recognize. Have you ever bought a brand new car? And then when you're driving down the freeway, all of a sudden you see everybody else has a car like you. Or women, when you buy a new purse or shoes or a dress, all of a sudden you see other people with the same dress as you. Where'd they come from? They were always there. You just didn't notice it. So you have to understand that your brain has to filter through trillions and trillions of bits of information that your senses pick up on every day. Touch, smell, hear, sound, eyesight, what you see. You don't focus on every single bit of detail. Your brain is all that stuff out, and you only focus on what you feel is important in your life at the time, and all of a sudden, when you trick your brain and start noticing some other things, then all of a sudden other things are going to come into focus. They were always there. You just didn't have the eyes. If you're a Christian, and the Bible says you must have eyes that can see. Like when born again Christians, once you're baptized, you're renewed. It's like now you're looking at the world with a new pair of eyes. Not the same eyes as before. Even though that's biblical, it's scientific. It's a scientific fact. That's why they always say, birds of a feather together. Take the 5 closest friends around you, add up your bank account, and it's probably around the same. Put yourself in a new environment with new people, with new experiences, and watch how all of a sudden new opportunities for you. One thing Henry Ford said, at one time he was the richest man on the planet, over $200 billion worth in today's money. He said, if I lost everything, the first thing I would do is hang out with rich people. That's the first thing he said he'd do. Why? Because he can get that vibration energy. This is stuff they know. They have not taught. So before I move forward, because I know a lot of us say keep going, it's not something I can really teach. It's something you have to experience and you have to learn on your own. But I'm going to give you a place where you can start. First book to start, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's the first place to start. But understand that this book is only a preview. as great as it is only a preview. Think about the new Hobbit movie that's coming out next week. Kids can't wait to see it. Neither can I. Or better yet, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I'm jacked out of my mind about it, is the new Star Wars trailer. Star Wars Episode 7. It's like, 50-something seconds long? Not even that. I think it's 30 seconds long. Star Wars trailer. That's not the movie. It's just the preview. That's what this book is. Think and Grow Rich. And it was dumbed down. The original version of it that was released by Napoleon Hill, the rich people in the world, the people of power, had a freaking heart attack about it. Specifically Henry Ford. Forced them to pull those books off the shelves because he gave the secrets away. Edited twice before it was allowed to be released again. And a lot of things were taken out of it, primarily the word vibration. Law of attraction were taken out. And it focuses specifically on the lives of successful people and what they do to get to where they are. But it leaves out the secret ingredient. A little bit more deeper, the law of success in 16 lessons. It's a little bit deeper. Another good book that really changed the way I view things is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. It kind of changes everything. Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Also an audio series by Kevin Trudeau called Your Wish is Your Command. I read and listened to that. I listened to that and read the book Science of Getting Rich at the same time, and my business has never been the same since. So when I had my explosion. It had nothing to do with am I with the right company. It had nothing to do with am I selling the right products. It had nothing to do is this the greatest compensation plan. None of that is what only matters. Because one thing that you'll find for those who believe the grass is greener somewhere else is that you have to do the same grind. It's just a different channel now. So you might not have the same problems you had in your last company and encounter new problems with the new company. I've seen people that have been a part of 4 or 5 different companies since they left our company last year, still hopping around. I've got 2 main leaders who used to be on our team. The person who signed them up in their new deal are already on to something else. Success does not come from the company. It comes from within. You make the successful. All right, I'm going way off track there, but those are some things that are going to help you. Let's keep on going. I went way off track. Short-term and long-term goals. You got to know where you're headed. Set short-term and long-term goals. Most people don't set any goals at all, and the ones who do, it's always short-term goal because it's always I'm about to get laid off from my job. I got to make $5,000 next week. I got to make money for Christmas. I got to put food. It's always a short-term goal. And the problem with that is you're not building towards anything long-term, and you're always going to have to find another short-term fix to whatever your current problem is, where ultimately your long-term goal will fix all of that so you won't have those problems again. That's where I am. When I joined Sherlock, strictly looking long-term. And here's why. I'm going to tell you what scared me. I looked at my old mentors over my first 10 years that were teaching me the stuff I know, and I saw how they were making $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month. And then I fast forward to look at where some of them are now, that they decided that oh, I'm going to go do this new company or that company, this company. They started moving around and messing things up for themselves. And I see, at their age now in their 50s, trying to start all over and being in 4 or 5 different companies because they're trying to get new deals. And I just shake my head and say, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. It's like they forgot what got them to success in the first place. Had nothing to do with the company. But you've got to be consistent. So when my move into Sherlock is the last move. 10 years from now, I'll still be here. 20 years, I'll be here. Because I'm looking long term. So short-term gain, of course, is remaining financially secure, which means your bills and food is being paid and, that you can survive. Long-term is wealth. Jim Rohn said his long-term goal was to build a financial wall so big around his family that nothing could penetrate it for 200 years. I love that. Think about that. You build a financial wall around your family that no matter what happens from the economy or a business going down, the family is secure financially for the next 200 years. That's a great long-term goal. One of my long-term goals is to be the person in my family, in my genealogy, going back the last couple hundred years, amount of money out of every Ivey that ever came before me. Combined term goals. And in my family, I have big shoes to fill to make that happen. Do you think the Rockefellers don't know who their great-great-granddaddy is? Do you think the Kennedys don't know who their great-great-granddaddy is? What about you? Do you know your great-great-grandfather's name? I don't. I don't have it memorized. I learned it when I did my own family history and my family tree. But it's not like we've got his picture hanging over the fireplace mantle. Go into a Kennedy house and see if you see Joe Kennedy's picture somewhere, or JFK. Go to the Rockefeller's house and go see if you see John D. Rockefeller hanging, or to the Morgan household, or the Rothschilds. You know their names, so families know their names because they built a dynasty and a legacy for their family. That's one of my long-term goals of what I want to do. So set short-term and long-term goals. Now, they must be in tandem with each other, because sometimes your short-term goal can actually derail your long-term goal. I'll give you an example. If you say to me, I want to be financially done, I want to be able to go onto the beach and have to come back to doing business for 2 years. But your short-term goal is, well, I got to make as much money as I can right now, and you're jumping around from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different companies over the next 3 years. And you may make money. Don't get me wrong. You may have success at doing that. But you derailed your long-term goal because it's not going to keep itself going. Because to remain having success like that, you're going to have to keep hopping around. I hope this makes sense. Your short ultimate be leading towards the long-term goal. So in this world, you always work backwards. You have to work backwards. And when I say backwards, that means that You first start off knowing what it is that you want. What is your ultimate long-term goal? And then you go backwards and say, okay, here are the short-term things I need to do to make it happen, because you cannot build a pyramid on once. You got to build it brick by brick. You can't build your house all at once. You got to start off with the foundation, but the house has to already be built in your mind. Most people do it the opposite. Just look on Facebook. They're trying to build a house and they don't even know what the finished product's going to look like. So set short-term and long-term goals. Understand that it takes time to grow anything. It takes time. You know, the slowest and then the fastest growing tree on the world is the bamboo tree. And the bamboo tree, you know, you plant a seed, look and water it and water it and water it, and nothing happens for years. Nothing happens. But you got to keep watering it. And all of a sudden, it breaks ground. And when it breaks ground, it grows faster than a weed. It becomes the fastest growing tree on the planet. But the farmer had to be patient enough to continue to water the ground. He doesn't know when it's going to break ground. That's how business is. That's how life is. You don't know when it's going to happen. You have to have the faith and belief that if you continue doing certain things, it will happen, and that's almost a 100% guarantee. It's just a matter of when, not if. If you're doing the right things, ultimately it will. I use Tyler Perry as an example. It took him 8 years and spending almost all he had before he had his success. And he was frustrated at times because others who stood around the same time he did were having great success within 2 to 3 years. And it didn't happen for him. But he didn't give up. Now the man's worth like over $400 million. You just don't know when it's your time. I look, if we look at our company, for example, I look at Kazakhstan. The upline of Kazakhstan making maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month. Been in the business for 2 years. All of a sudden, one spark, Kazakhstan happens. Now they're making over $10,000 a month after 2 months. It happens almost overnight when everything changes, and it just explodes. But the moment you stop, then it's like you have to start all over again from scratch. So you've got to be patient and know that this is a business. Stay consistent and work unless you work it. We just went over that. You cannot expect to reap a harvest if you have not sowed any seed. You must put in some time if you want to get time. This is also seems like common sense, but you'd be amazed that you have people out there that are posers and amateurs. Remember part 1 last week? That will join a business, and they think just because they spent money that success is automatically going to happen without having to put in the work. Here's one thing that you must understand. Whatever it is that you want or desire, it comes with a cost. The cost may be in time, money, but more likely it's going to be both. The cost is your time and money. And if all you've done was plop down money, like you're playing the lotto, well, how many of you actually win the lotto? Was it you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning 7 times before you win the lotto? You got to put in the work. It's like prayer without work is ceasing. You can't just pray for something. All right, now that you prayed, great. Now that you let the universe know what it is that you want, what are you going to do about it to attract those things to you? Not just going to drop in your lap. Put in the work. And people pay their money, get started. 60 days later, I don't hear from them anymore. They quit. Like, what happened? Oh, the business didn't work. It stole my money. I didn't make any money. What do you mean you didn't make any money? I didn't make any money. How many webinars did you attend? One. How many two-way calls did you do? None. How many customers do you have? You give the product away for free. Did you at least give it away to 5 people? I gave it to my wife. How many people did you have on a presentation? None. So how in the world did you expect to make money again? And these are the same people that always end up being the loudest, the most vocal, that will run somewhere and say, oh, I was in there, I didn't make no money. You can't make any money there. But they don't say, oh, I didn't do anything. You never hear that. It's always somebody else's fault. The company, the marketing plan, the compensation plan, the people, my upline, my downline. They said no to me. It's always somebody else's fault. And those people will always be losers, no matter what company they're a part of. You must be willing to put in the time. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It could be 30 minutes a day, as long as you are consistent with those 30 minutes and doing productive activities. Not sharpening my pencil and making sure all my papers are stacked right, but actually doing activities that's going to generate by doing 3-way calls and putting people up the business. Those are productive activities. Give you an example. It's hard to find anybody who is smarter than me. I'm like Kobe Bryant or Will Smith. If we get on a treadmill, 2 things is going to happen. Either I'm going to beat you or I'm going to die trying. That's my attitude. But for the if I take away the last couple of weeks, most of my energy was being spent on supporting the team. Almost kind of like in management mode, because no other real big leaders have stepped up yet. And some that have are still dependent on me. I haven't had anybody out there that wants to duplicate me and just do it. I don't have a sponsor. I don't have anybody that I can call and ask 1,000,001 questions. I don't have anybody to lean on. I don't have anybody to bounce that idea off of. It is me. I just do it. This is my business. My upline has always gotten in the way anyway, because they weren't willing to work as hard as I am. But I made a shift. Lead by example. I'm going to hit global all over again. I already hit power in a couple of weeks. Make it happen. You've got to put in the productive time. And if you're not willing to do that, you might as well go ahead and quit now. And it's very important that you have ignorance on fire is way better than intelligence on ice, a.k.a. paralysis of analysis. For my urchins out there, my people that always need to have 100% of the information. It's not that that's wrong, it's just not productive. Having 100% of the information doesn't put money in your pocket. Actually doing the work does. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow. People say, how can I move forward if I don't even know what's going on? I don't know why most of the millionaires and billionaires don't even have a high school or college degree. Huh. Why is that? Just do it. Spending too much time trying to figure it out. Just do it. My whole thing is I'll figure out why I'm getting paid and I get a paycheck. What activities do I need to do to make money, and I'm going to do it. My last company, it took me 90 days to get to 5 figures a month, didn't even understand the compensation plan. But guess what? I was doing presentations. I was talking about because it's easy to what I've heard. I didn't fully understand it. I'll give you another example, and I shared this rarely and I shared it off with a friend who asked. But I have a learning disability. It's called auditory disorder. I've had it all my life, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was about 18 or 19 years old. The therapist said it was like going through college with one arm tied behind my back. I had just developed ways of working around it as a kid up to becoming an adult. I just worked harder than everyone else. I figured out, okay, I have to study twice as hard. I have to read the same material twice as hard. And I would fake the funk. Like, I would pretend like I understand what I'm hearing, even when I had no free. And then I would go home and spend hours going over the notes until I finally got it. And I was ready for the next day. That was just a habit of mine. Until I was actually diagnosed, I understood what it was I'm working with. So when I see things and I hear things, nobody knows if I understand it or not. As far as they're concerned, I understand it. Only I know. But by the time we have another company, you best believe I'll figure it out. But I didn't understand the comp plan. I just could repeat it. It was maybe 4 or 5, I think it was because that was back in April 2012. And it wasn't until about September that I fully understood how the comp plan worked. All I knew was I was getting paid doing certain actions. And I just did those same actions over and over and over and over and over again. I was excited. Ignorance on fire. Not intelligent, nice. Start to develop the right mental attitude, have long-term thinking, treat your business like $1 million business, not a $10 business. That's another mistake a lot of people have. It's about value. Think about the teenager on his 16th birthday. Let's say you have 2 of them. You have 2 kids. They both turn 16 on the same day. One kid is given a brand new car for his 16th birthday. The other kid spent the summer before working and using that money to get his own car. Which kid do you think is going to value the most? The kid who was given the car or the kid who saved up his own money to buy the car? Of course, the kid who had to buy the car. He has more value for what he has. You notice that in business. When people spend a lot of money for something, value it a lot more. Which is also the problem with this is the best thing and the worst thing about network marketing. The best thing about it is that it's affordable where everybody can do it because everybody can afford it. The worst thing about it is that it's so inexpensive to get started that most people don't value what they have in their hand. It's like the golden bar. They don't even realize they have a golden bar. But if that same individual spent $500,000 on their own business, do you think they treat it like a business? Oh, absolutely. See, most times people are always looking at the cost, but not looking at the value of how much they can make. See, I look at the cost. Okay, let's say I spend less than $500. But guess what? Career. Thousands of dollars. So far in profit that it will take the rest of my life to spend more money in my business than I have ever made. I think that is a huge return on investment. Most people don't treat it that way. Where $34.95 to them is a burden. Are you kidding me? $34.95 should be the first thing on your list of budgets to pay. Because that is the only thing, your entire budget, that is going to allow you to make unlimited amount of money. Everything else is a liability. That $34.95 is an asset in your business, not a liability, not a bill. It is your freedom. The beginning of the cost of your freedom. Now I understand how the system works, how you can have people as slaves without putting chains on them, because most people are slaves and don't even know it. And even when given the opportunity to become free, they're mentally incarcerated. They still don't get it. That's why you have the 97% and the 3%. And it all comes choice. We all have a choice. I was getting into a conversation with a family member over Thanksgiving. Family member was talking about, I think we were talking about Ferguson and some of the people in the neighborhoods and being held back and all that. And I was like, yeah, get out of here with that. First of all, our parents grew up in Compton, California. One of the Watts riots. My dad grew up in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. Yet he turned out to become one of the highest profile African American men in the nation in his field. Yet the other people who grew up in the same exact city, under the same exact circumstances, are either dead, in jail, or doing minimum wage type jobs. Why? What was the difference? They all had the same choices. They all were in the same environment. My father made a choice. He wasn't given anything. And that goes for all of us, no matter your background, no matter your race, no matter your religion, no matter your upbringing. Once you become an adult, you have a choice. Same in business. You have a choice. You can choose to work your business, or you can choose not to work your business and just complain. You can choose to quit when things get rough, or you can choose to learn from that experience, count the blessings, be thankful for it, for learning something, and keep moving forward. Because it's at those times when most people quit. So you got to think, if I want to become the 3%, I must do what most people don't do. So if most people quit, I must stay in the game. There's a choice. Treat your business like it's $1 million. It's your freedom. The most important things you can bring to your Sherlock business is work ethic, desire, commitment, be coachable, and be excited. You know, I always talk about the work ethic, desire, and commitment, coachable. I want to talk about the excitement part for a second. Because this is, especially when you're not making any money, you don't have anything happening in your business, and people around you are telling you no and it doesn't work. It's hard to be excited, right? Depending on how you're looking at it. Depending on how you're looking at it. See, I'm the opposite of other people. I see people who join companies just because they saw a video of a convention and people were jumping up and down and excited. Ooh, they were excited. Ooh, there's a party going on. I want to be there with them. I get excited when I don't, because I know I'm there first. I'm there at the beginning. That gets me excited. When everybody's saying no, they don't know what we're doing, they never heard of us, that gets me excited. Because, why? We're the first. Nobody knows about us yet. It's even a bigger opportunity for me right now. If I get started right now, I keep pushing. I'm the one that's getting the word out there. The more no's I get, great. I'm spreading the word, and these people are becoming aware of what we're doing. I get excited. When the excitement is not there. See, here, this is where people have success. The ability to remain consistent when results are not being shown. Don't have anything to be excited about. It's almost commitment as well. You know what commitment is? The ability to keep going forward long after the desire and newness has left. Think of relationships. You know, because a lot of people date their business. Oh, what do you mean by date, Brandon? What does that mean? They date their business. It's new. It's exciting. She smells good. Look at her new clothes. I've never seen her wear those clothes before. Look at the way she walks and smiles. I love when she talks. It's exciting. It's brand new. Then after a while, a couple months goes by. Wow, she's wearing that same shirt again, huh? Huh. Same perfume. It turns to nagging and it's annoying. Oh, well, what's she whining about now? It doesn't feel so new and exciting anymore. Then you look down the street, you see a new skirt walking down the street. Ooh, who's that? Ooh, that looks exciting. It's new. I gotta have it. So you leave the one you have to go get somebody new. And you keep doing this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Next thing you know, you look up, 40, 45, not married, and you know, time has passed. Not that it's wrong. It's just decisions that you made. Because you kept dating. You never wanted to commit. That's how people are in business. They get started with a new company because, I saw a cool video. I saw a rapper or a singer is endorsing the product. It's new, it's exciting. Look at all those people making money. Then all of a sudden, the hard work begins. Okay, people kept saying no to me. It's not happening. Wait a minute. I saw on the internet about this new company offering more bonuses. Everybody's doing it. I don't want to be left out. I want to be with the cool kids. And you leave that company, go to another one. 3 months later, same thing. And this keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. You cannot date your business. You have to be married to your business. Because what is marriage? Marriage is when you make that commitment for good and bad. And you remain committed, even during the down times and the bad times, because there will be. It is a guarantee. Not always honeymoon. You have to marry your business. Hard for me to understand that when I was 20 or 21 years old. I had never been married. Think about it. Never really had real long-term relationships. I'm only 20. I mean, 4 months was long to us. Wasn't that long? Experience and time. Marry your business. Go on to the next. I hope people are really understanding what I'm saying there. Know that you're going to have an emotional roller coaster. Know that some will, some won't, some wait. So what next? Rohn signed up a brand new person who he had been talking to for months. People see the business and they wait. Some won't, some will. So what? You keep moving on to the next. It's a numbers game. Don't take it personal when somebody says no to you. You be confident in what you're doing. Unshakable. Do you think somebody like Michael Jordan is unshakable? Or, from the newer generation, Kobe Bryant, unshakable? Do you think he cares what others have to say about anything he's doing? Absolutely not. You see what's going on here. You see what your future's going to be like, but you're going to let who has never made a dime in his life convince you that what you're doing is wrong? Absolutely not. Unshakable. Now on Netflix popped up, Marco Polo, right? As one scene, I see this all the time. I love watching martial arts flicks all the time. And they talk about grow your roots. The most important part is having your footing, having your foundation. Your foundation can't be knocked off. If you can be toppled over, you don't have a foundation. The wind can blow you over. Once you're committed, when you hear they say, well, I planted my flag, you are rooted. And nothing can knock you over. If you can not be knocked over, you were never rooted. You've never had a foundation. What's your foundation? Where are your roots? And don't worry about who says no. They're just another number that you need to go through. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." This is when you really know who your friends are. You really know how you, because when the money is flowing, good times are had by all. Everybody's making money. It's all good. People are smiling and laughing. They're having steak for dinner, going on vacations. But the moment things don't go your way, all of a sudden you hit the valley. All of a sudden the money's not flowing like it was. You start to see the real character of people. What is your character? For those who know me, have seen me when I didn't have money, when I had a whole lot of money, when I had a little bit of money, I had a whole lot of money again, one thing will always remain consistent. Because of technology now, you actually can track these consistency. Just go to their foot page and scroll back 2 years. See what they're saying and how they're talking and what they're talking about. You go back to my Facebook timeline, you're going to see the same exact thing that I say now, I said 5 years ago. Hasn't changed. Whether I was making money and when I was not making money. And you can tell, it's like a cycle. I study this stuff, and I will pick people out on Facebook, and I'll go back. I'll spend the time. I'll spend 45 minutes or so, and I'll go back 2 or 3 years through their posts. And I can tell just by their posts when they were having ups and downs. And you can changes in their posts. Like, oh, okay, they were having good. Everything was going good in their life at this point. Oh. Things went bad here. They turned bitter and nasty. Wow, they've done a 360 on everybody now. Not on good again. They're back to the old self. You can tell. What does yours say about you? The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them. In other words, I use this as an example for those of you that are married like I am. Sometimes my wife, but she's having a problem with something, and she wants to talk about it. And it's hard for me because as a man, I am a problem solver. You come to me with a problem, let's solve it and move on. So when she's talking to me about stuff, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, here's the solution. This is what I'm going to do. And she gets mad. Like, what are you getting mad for? You came to me with a problem. I'm giving you a solution. I want a solution. I just want to talk about it. Like, what? Don't talk to your girlfriend. But hey, as men, we got to just listen. She just wants to vent. Just wants to get it out there. And learn from it, and grow from it, and find the lesson in it, and move on. Not every problem needs to be solved. It's just another issue for you to learn and grow so that when a bigger problem happens, you'll know how to handle it. You can handle it. The Lord will not put you in a situation you cannot handle. And if you think you're having problems now, that's because this is the most you can handle at this point. So you can't be given more because it's like the yin and the yang. You cannot have good and it always be good. You're going to have new challenges that always come up with every step of the road. And if you have challenges, How can you be entrusted to handle the bigger challenges that's going to come your way? Challenges that you can't even think right now, that you've never even experienced right now. But put $1 million in your bank account and watch what new challenges pop up for you to have to deal with. Challenges and obstacles only make you stronger. You grow as an individual. You're thankful for those challenges. I'll use Hansen, for example, who's building the space program, billionaire. This is his life's work. But what happened a couple months ago when they launched that private ship into space? An accident occurred. Out of the 2 test pilots, one of them died. What did Richard Hansen say? Reporters, are you going to stop your program now? Are you going to scrap it? He said, no, we're going to learn the mistake that we made and we're going to make another one that's better. And keep moving forward. This is what the average person doesn't really get and understand. They run into a problem, they're ready to run for the hills and quit. Embrace them, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Personality traits, oh boy. See how much time I want to spend on this. With people. You got to understand that everybody falls into certain categories. Personality. Everybody has a dominant personality trait. They're either a dominant shark, whale, dolphin, or urchin. I use those as an example. See, a shark is an individual that is motivated by power, by respect, by money, status. That gets a shark's attention. A whale is motivated by being nurturing, helping others. That's what motivates and drives them. You have the dolphin. Dolphins only care about having fun, having enjoyment, seeking the greatest pleasures out of life. You have the urchins. Urchins are motivated, thirst of knowledge, by the amount of information that they can learn and maintain and hold on to. If you approach a shark talking about, hey, John, you got to get into this business because we're going to save the world. We're going to help so many people change. We're going to help that stay-at-home mom make an extra $500 a month. A shark's going to look at you like, so? Go join Greenpeace. Go join the Red Cross. If you approach a whale, oh, you got to join this business. Do you know how much money you can make? Somebody that's already made $1 million in our company in 2 years. You can get a 20% check match on every single person on your team. Did you know you can earn equity in the company? The whale's going to be like completely turned off. So, go to Wall Street. If you approach a dolphin, and you tell a dolphin, hey, dolphin, you got to join this business because it's a $1 trillion industry growing at 20% a year. Did you know that 75% of the business is going to come out of just Asia alone? Did you realize that most people are now actively using a mobile app? Did you realize that Facebook is now doing 59% of all income is being generated through the mobile app? Or dolphin's going to say, what? What language are you speaking? Get out of my face. Approaching urchin. Talking about, oh, urchin, did you see what Sherlock's doing? They just had a huge party out in London today for the Christmas. We're getting ready to get on to our cruise that's coming up in March. We're going to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. We're going to have so much fun. Oh, you've got to be there. The urchin's going to look at you like you lost your mind. Go back to Woodstock, hippie. See, each personality is attracted by something different. And you must know, recognize the personality before you even start talking to them about business. That's why it's important to build relationships. Because once you build a relationship, you now know how to approach them about your business. Don't always start off talking about the business. It is that they're looking for. So once you identify, now you know how to talk to them. See, depending on one thing that I found is people that I talk to who are dolphins think I'm a dolphin. People who are urchins think I'm an urchin. People who are whales think I'm a whale, and people who are sharks think I'm a shark. Until they really get to know me more. And it depends on who you talk to, even my own family. If you talk to my wife, I am a whale. I'm an ultimate whale. My brother, he will say I'm either a dolphin or a shark, depending on what the situation is. Brandon's not having fun. He's not going to do it. That's how he is. Or his money's not involved, he's not going to do it. If he's not going to get recognition, he's not going to do it. If you talk to my dad will tell you I'm an urchin. He'll say, "Oh, Brandon, all his life always was reading all this." You can ask him about any topic, and he can tell you about it in detail. That's my dad. He thinks I'm an urchin. And all of us has a little bit of each trait within us. But there's just one trait that we're dominated by. Look at your career. What's moving you? What motivates you? Before you can try to figure out what somebody else's trait is, what is your trait? Here's the best way to find out what your trait is as well. When you talk to people about business, that will tell you exactly what your trait is. Because most people always lead with caught their attention in the first place. But to be successful in business, you want to kind of master all of the traits. Look at Rohn. I have heard you talk about this before, but now I understand. So here's one thing, Rohn, that I've learned. Whenever I do a training, I may talk about the same things, but I never talk about it the same way each time. Always a little different. And sometimes you have to hear something 10, 15, 20 times before it really sinks in. That's why it's so important if you've seen it before. You never know when that light bulb will go off. You might have had different experiences since the last time you saw a presentation, and all of a sudden, wow, it makes sense to me now. But if you can be good at mastering each trait, because this is what I do. If I talk to somebody and I know that they're an urchin, I turn into an urchin. It's the worst thing for me. I hate it. I hate it so much. It pains me. But I have to. I know information inside and out. Well, you can ask the answer for you in detail. Not because I want to, but because I have to. In fact, I could sound better than the best urchins out there. And I did that on purpose as well. One thing my mentor said was, let's find what your biggest weakness is, and then you make it one of your biggest strengths. So for me, as far as personalities, my biggest weakness is urchins. Urchins want to make me want to jump off a cliff. On the inside, maybe I'm wasting my time. Because I know none of this matters. But I also know that urchins end up making the most money than everybody else. Because once they make a decision, they have rooted themselves. They are grounded. They have a foundation, and nothing can shake them from it. Because as far as they're concerned, I've done my research. You're the ignorant one that hasn't. No, I'm not going to jump ship and go to your company. You don't know what I got right here. Dolphins, I love talking to dolphins. I love talking to sharks. I love talking to whales. So there's just my least personality is the urchin side. But I can sound like the best urchin out there when I want to. Down, negative, up. When you have a organization, you always want to be positive. This old saying, don't ever let them see you sweat. Just like when you're looking at your commander-in-chief, you're looking at somebody in charge, you want to see them in control. You don't want to see them shaking, because then it's going to make you doubt. Human. So any issues and problems, you take it to upline. You take it to up, not to your downline. Don't sow weed or seeds of dissent or doubt in your organization. It blows my mind when I see people do that. I'm like, you're sabotaging your own. You are no leader whatsoever. And you know they said that old saying that leaders are born? No. You've got some people that have some natural, but leadership is a choice. If you want to become a great leader, one author I would advise is John C. Maxwell. Look John C. Maxwell up on YouTube, get his books, Leadership 101 and so forth. He's probably what I consider one of the greatest modern authors concerning leadership. John C. Maxwell. Also A.L. Williams. Even by A.L. Williams. See yourself as a diamond. It goes back to what I told you, what I want you to do before you go to sleep. Can like have everything that you want, and then how does it make you feel? Then go to sleep. Your brain thinks that you got it. But you gotta understand, you've been going to sleep your entire life with a different mindset. So introducing something new is not going to. That's why you got to be consistent for a while. This actually takes a couple of years doing it like this. Being consistent. Changing the way you think. Doesn't happen overnight. But perception is reality. People say fake it till you make it. That is wrong. That is so wrong. You're living a lie. You don't fake it till you make it. You act as if. That's a difference. Act as a millionaire. What does that mean? Well, okay. If you were a millionaire, what would you be doing with your time right now? Then do it. If you're a millionaire, what type of responsibilities would you have? What type of phone calls would you be making? Then do it. If you're a millionaire, how would you dress? How would you talk? Do it. If you were a diamond, how would you approach your business? You'd have the confidence to talk to any diamond, right? Then do it. I am not a diamond right now, but I tell you what, the moment I hit diamond, I won't be talking or doing anything different than what I'm doing right now. Because I believe I'm a diamond anyway. I'm just waiting for the paperwork to catch up. And that's how it was since day one. Act as if. See, I want you to go into the mirror, look yourself in the bathroom mirror, go into the bathroom and look yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself this question. Up with you. You're talking to yourself. Mirror. It's only you and yourself in that bathroom. So don't lie. If you lie to yourself, you are really in trouble. Tell yourself the truth out loud. Sometimes the truth hurts, but you've got to have a foundation somewhere to start from. When I did that for the first time, you know my answer was? Absolutely not. I wouldn't sign up with. And so once I realized what the answer was, then I must decide what person would I want to sign up with. And now you work on becoming that person. I was watching an old movie, right? And I don't watch things for entertainment. I watch things to find lessons that can be learned. Like I love watching some of the kid movies with my kids, like Finding Nemo or Kung Fu Panda. Huge lesson in Kung Fu Panda. Well, one thing, there was this guy who was living up to his father's expectations. And he wasn't happy with his father at all. And his father continuously let him down. And his mentor said to him, "Here's the difference between me and you. You're living to please your dad. I grew up deciding I'm going to become the type of person I want my dad to be, so that when I have kids, they're going to have the dad I've always wanted." Wow. It's a powerful statement. So instead of trying to look to your upline, your sponsor to be, or try to find the sponsor you want to have, become the type of sponsor you want to have yourself for your downline. Then all of a sudden, the downline will show up. It's like that old, was it Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams? Build it and he will come. They can't come until you build it. You got to build it first. So when I figured that out, I said, okay, I'm going to start acting like the type of person I would want to sign up with. Act as if. And you will become that person. What will happen to you? You will start to attract people like that. You can only attract what you're giving out. So you're looking right now, realize, who do you have? Well, that's what you're attracting to you. You want to attract a superstar, you must become a superstar. Well, Brandon, I'm not making any money. How can I become a superstar? It's all in the mind. Are you a superstar? Are you a top money earner? You don't believe it yourself. Why would somebody else? It's got to start with you. Perception is reality. The facts don't matter. Facts don't matter at all. What do you mean, Brendan? They're the what? Facts state that humans can't fly, yet we're flying. Facts state humans can't go to the atmosphere, into space. There's no air there, yet we're in space. When the mind is right, facts don't matter. Perception is reality. I will say one thing that's political, whether you like it or not. The United States of America, as far as the economy, terrorism, over the last 20 years, that's a fact. But the perception is that our current president is the worst president in history. And at the end of the day, perception is reality. When you look at Ronald Reagan, considered one of the greatest presidents in American history. But when you look at the facts don't say so. As far as the economy, as far as education, as far as immigration, as far as everything. Perception. But at the end of the day, perception is reality. I hope I'm making sense. Same thing goes for your life. Perception is reality. You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. You get in life what you are. What are you? That's what you're attracting to your life right now. I'll end by stating this story. Have you ever met a woman who was always in a bad relationship? It's like it doesn't matter what the name of her boyfriend is, he's the same person. Always. And the girlfriend said, you know what, man, you got to get some therapy. Even if a good guy comes in her life, he doesn't last long. The same type of man. So she goes into therapy. And the therapist asks her, you know what, let's start off, let me ask you a question. What do you want in a man? That's a very simple question. I'm going to say it one more time for all of you to understand the question. What do you want in a man? Okay? Here's her answer. Well, I don't want a man who stays out late after work, going to the bars, going to the strip clubs, drinking and smoking. I don't want a man who comes home drunk and beats me up. I don't want a man I don't want a man who disrespects me, makes me feel like crap. I don't want a man who verbally and physically abuses me and my children in front of me. I don't want a man who's always making me feel bad. Okay. Sounds right. Who in the world wants a man? At least she understands what she doesn't want, right? So what's the problem here? Two things. Number one, how does that make you feel, says the therapist. And she says, horrible. I feel bad. Second thing she asked, but you never answered my question. What do you mean? I asked, what do you want in a man? She said, I answered you. No, you didn't. You told me what you don't want in a man. See, the universe does not understand positive or negative. It only understands whatever it is, based on how you feel. Okay, understand, it's not about the words. Words mean nothing. It's the feeling attached to each word. The word love means nothing. It's the feeling attached to love. The word hate means nothing. It's the feeling that's attached to hate. Everything in your language means nothing. It's the feeling that you carry. No matter if you're speaking English, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, the feelings are universal in human beings, no matter what the language is or the word is. So all the words she stated make her feel bad. That's all the universe knows, so it's going to attract whatever feeling she's given out. So anything that brings the bad feeling is what's coming in her life to keep it going, because that's the vibration she's giving out, and that's what she's attracting. So let's answer the question properly. What do you want in a man? I want a man who comes straight home after work. I want a man who loves me. I want a man who adores me. I want a man who treats me like a princess and a queen. I want a man who's my partner. I want a man I can grow old with. Okay, great. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel fantastic. It makes me feel awesome. It makes me feel loved. Now you're going to start to attract the feelings of love and happiness to you, because that's the vibration you're giving out. So don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you want. And more importantly, how does it make you feel? Because how you feel is what's going to be coming right back to you, not the word. Monitor your feelings. How do you feel at this very moment? How do you feel throughout the day? How do you feel before you go to sleep? How do you feel when you wake up? Because whatever that feeling is what you're going to experience for the rest of the day. And even if you feel good and something bad happens, it's not going to last long. It's not the dominating thing for you. You just deal with it. You just handle it and keep moving forward. Got myself excited on that one. That was the ultimate truth that eluded me for years. When I was saying, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I go to all the meetings. I go to all the trainings. I do all the talking. I'm talking to people. It's just not working. It's like I'm spinning my wheels in the sand because I didn't understand this concept. In fact, I was doing the opposite. You know why? Because I was feeling bad while I was doing all of that stuff. What I'm telling you guys right now is the secret. As simple as it is, it's the one secret that most people will never get. even when it's in plain sight. It's the one knowledge that's not in Think and Grow Rich. It's the one knowledge that's not in the movie The Secret, although they touch on feelings. That's the most important. They're not highlighting it. Bob Proctor will talk about it. Tony Robbins does way. In fact, this is why Tony Robbins is so popular, because what he teaches gets the most results. Change your physiology. Change how you feel about things, and your life will change. That's why he's the most popular out of that whole got started with the Earl Nightingale Foundation. So if you ever want to having a hard time with how you feel about things, listening to Jim Rohn, Les Brown, maybe Les Brown's more of a motivator. Jim Rohn's pure knowledge about the mindset. But if you're having a problem with your feelings and physiology, soak up Tony Robbins. As much Tony Robbins as you can get your hands on. I had the privilege of attending a Tony Robbins Walk on Fire event a couple of years back in Florida for 5 days. I'll never forget it. I actually walked on freaking fire. It wasn't an illusion. Those were fire sparks and hot coals I walked on, and I didn't burn myself at all. Freaked out afterwards when I thought about it. Did I just walk on fire? Change your physiology. With that, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This was the last mindset training of the year. We will have one more regular training next Saturday, which will be the last regular training of the year. But this is the last mindset training. I may do, depending on how I feel, a special 2015 mindset type of training. If I look at the date here, I think that's the 2nd that falls. The next Saturday is the 20th. So we're going to have one more training next Saturday. The following Saturday after that, the 27th, Christmas weekend, so we're not doing anything. But the next one, the 3rd, yeah, that'll be perfect. January 3rd, I'll have a special mindset training going into 2015. And I think I may tailor it just on this topic. Nyla wanted me to go a little bit deeper. Maybe I will talk about that. You know, I call it The Secret. I'll do that. And we'll go over that. And I'll do it on a conference line and not a webinar. So mark that down. January 3rd, special getting ready for 2015 mindset training. The topic will be The Secret. And those who are ready will fully understand it. Others will just be exposed to it. You got to be careful about that. My mentor already got mad at me for. But like I always say, it's not going to hurt the people who don't understand it, and it's definitely going to help the people who do. It's also mad that I'm not charging for it. This is stuff people pay thousands of dollars for. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Have a happy holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks. Now, do not, put your hand down and not go to work. Finish this month out strong. We're already 15% ahead of last month for the month of December, and last month was our biggest month on record. Do not take your foot off the gas. In fact, you should do the opposite. You want to put your foot on the gas and create that momentum. Most people are going to wait till New Year's Eve before they, all right, I'm going to get serious now. Why not make this your New Year's Eve and start to get serious now and get a good 2-week, 3-week head start on everybody else? And of course, I'm going to end by playing a video. And this video is focus on the goal and not the task. Focus on the goal and not the task. My name is Brandon Ivey. See you all next time. Good night.